Start by connecting. If you are sitting at your desk and your feet are down on the ground, hi Coral, hi Tara. And have your knees and your feet about hips width apart, and really feel the connection between your feet and the earth. Maybe they're in shoes, maybe they're actually on carpet, on a wooden floor, wherever, however. So you can feel all the little toe pads and the pinky mound, the big toe mound, and then your outer arches, soles, the heels. Just feel your feet. Then feel the weight of the legs in your ankles and your feet, be on your sits bones, and lengthen the spine. And imagine your spine is running from the base. The base is like a string of pearls of light all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just lengthen. Take a nice deep breath. Now just imagine you're relaxing from the crown of the head all the way down. Forehead, eyes, nose, cheeks, the mouth, back of the head, the jaw, temples, the neck, the shoulders, the throat, the chest, the belly, and all your limbs. And just notice how you're turning up this evening. And however that is, it's completely fine. And then just notice if there's any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. And then just notice the thoughts as they're arising. Just notice what it is you're thinking. Maybe it's just categorized as thinking. Maybe it is planning, future tripping, ruminating. And then try not to judge what you're thinking. Just allow the thoughts to arise, to abide, and then just flow on. And then let's put ourselves on the bank of our river. Just notice the quality of the water. How fast is it flowing? How deep is your river? Or is it just a little stream? And just know that while you're on that bank of the river, you're free from the river. And let's think about all the people of our life. You can start with those people who are very dear to you, the ones who are close to your heart. Just bring them to your mind, see them. And then there's those folks you find a little bit more difficult, and then there's your strangers. And due to the nature of this realm we're living in, these relationships can shift and change. And then think that all these people are equal. They're equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this Vajrasattva practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we start again by thinking there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is a psychological one. We're creating negativity with our mind, so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret, and sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we already know what suffering's about. Perhaps everyone here has experienced or is experiencing some form of suffering. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as more and future suffering. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has methods that we can use to purify. So here we have our beautiful Vajrasattva, but he's made of paint. And what we're looking for is a light body. So this just gives you a general idea. You don't have to go into all that detail. So just imagine we have a Vajrasattva like this on the crown of your head. And he has the methods that we can use to purify. We're not wanting forgiveness. And you can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of a radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions and untainted by them. So his face is radiant and beautiful. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. There's no critical thoughts there, just acceptance and love. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, and this is part of this section on reliance, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So you can think particularly of people you have harmed recently in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginning this time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we can particularly have compassion for these people because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So there's no need for resentment or bitterness in your heart. The best thing to have is compassion, and just think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine. This is the practice of purification. And we're using light and our imagination and this mantra. So starting with the body, Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimuta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dino Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So they might see you, smell you, sense you, and just imagine that even that just small amount of interchange, benefits their mind. So next is a purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire being. And this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, all of this completely purified by this powerful nectar filling us. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mibiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sapokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sapokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sapokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others with your speech. So the moment they hear your voice, every single syllable that falls out of your mouth is a benefit to others, including yourself. So next, the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately send powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on that switch, that light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So just as the light hits your heart chakra, it's the same. Instant darkness, instant removed, or the darkness instantly removed. So all the attachment and neediness and anger and violence and bitterness and depression, grudges, resentment, jealousy, and anxiety, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Tita me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. So again, be delighted all your delusions, which are the source of for all of us, all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and you can imagine it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So it's like you're removing the garlic from a jar. You still need to remove that kind of the smell, but it really is an energetic thing here. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. So now feel completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So just imagine even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So we do have a little bit of time, so I'm going to have us do some meditation here. So for just 1 minute, just imagine, try and imagine what it would be like to have your mind stream completely purified. What would that look like in you? How would you be? So just let your imagination go wild. Now we come to the power of resolve, which is the fourth step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial step. And this is the determination to not harm with our body, speech, and mind. So without this determination, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So we want to develop new neural pathways. So these habits we have, they're actually physical in the brain. So if we don't use those pathways, they will atrophy over time. The brain is really pliable, even at our age. So everything exists on the tip of a wish. And so think of something that you want to work on. Rejoice. Give yourself a pat on the back for any progress you've been making. Maybe you can journal some of the things that are changing for you, how you handled situations a little bit differently. So just look back and you can give yourself a little bit of encouragement. It's like, oh, look how far I've come. I came a long way here. Just like Anila would say, look down the mountain to see how far you've come. Don't look up to see how far you need to go. So just think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And so we'll just meditate on that for a couple of minutes. So this determination to try and refrain from doing things that are harmful is what gives us the strength to change. It's really quite simple. So just imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with you and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher, if you have one, spiritual guides, body, speech, and mind. My body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind are the same. So it all just kind of merges into one. And so this little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, whatever you've heard about it, whatever you've read about it, just kind of place your mind there as much as you can. And we can think here of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice this evening to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So if any of you have teachers, particularly His Holiness Dalai Lama, just think, may they have a long life. So you can bring that person to mind. And then maybe you have had Lama Zopa Rinpoche as a teacher. you have Lama Zopa Rinpoche as a teacher, so then you can just make a strong wish for Rinpoche's swift return. And then maybe other teachers that you have in your mind, just wish for them to have a long life, because they can then stay around and guide us a little bit longer. Okay, everybody. Thank you so very much. Lots of love. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for hosting. Thank you for keeping an eye on the door. And stay cool if you're in a place that's hot. Okay, sleep well, everybody. Good night. Sweet dreams.